Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm back with another store visit. And today I've got a big one, a small store, but with big importance because today I'm going to talk about my recent visit to Million Year Picnic in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Now, those of you who've been watching my channel for a while know that I'm lucky to live near Boston, and within about a 90-minute drive of my house, any direction, I think there's probably between 60 and 80 comic book stores. So I'm trying to visit all of them. I still have a lot more to visit, but I've visited a lot of the stores in Massachusetts. I visited stores in Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Connecticut. But I'm back in Massachusetts here for one of the most important comic book stores in the area, Million Year Picnic. I've got it up on the map here. Now, Million Year Picnic is in Harvard Square, so it's where Harvard University is. It's where all the kids are happening out in Cambridge. There's a area of Cambridge there that stretches starting at Harvard Square down to Central Square and then down to Kendall, because it's got Harvard at one end and it's got MIT at the other end, and in between is all the funky cool shops and everything you want. Now, there's other squares, there's other universities, there's several other universities in the area. There's other comic book stores in Cambridge that I haven't been to yet. There's one called Kamikaze. But in Harvard Square is Million Year Picnic. And Million Year Picnic bills itself as the oldest comic book shop in New England, opened in the early 1970s, so it's been open for 50 years now. I first went to Million Year Picnic when I was in college, back in the early 1990s. Of course, I've been back several times since. I've gotten some really good stuff there. It's a very small store down in a little basement shop. It's very, very small and cramped. Not a lot of space to move around, but every inch is jam-packed, including with a bunch of really good back issue selection. Now, there used to be two comic book stores right near each other in Harvard Square. The other one was a New England Comics. That's a chain of comic book stores up here that used to have 7 branches. But the pandemic really hit this comic stores hard. It also hit Harvard Square very hard because the rents there are incredibly high. And so the New England Comics that was there went out of business. Otherwise, I would have that in this video as well. And Million Year Picnic really struggled there in the first year of the pandemic. So at that point, at one point, I had actually, early in the pandemic, I basically just donated some money to help keep the store open because it's a very important sort of cultural institution here. And I haven't been able to get to the comic book store since then. Since the pandemic started, I haven't been to Million Year Picnic, which means that I haven't visited it for the videos because I didn't start doing these until during the pandemic. So, finally got a chance just last week to go to Million Year Picnic. As I mentioned, it's very small, it's very cramped. I wasn't able to get any video inside. I meant to get some video outside, but some stuff, was going on, and I just wasn't able to. So I apologize for that. But if you go to YouTube and just check Harvard Square, you're going to see lots of videos of walking around Harvard Square. So I did pick up some stuff. So I want to say, basically, when you go in, you go down these stairs, you take a left into this little shop. On the right is the back issues. The left are graphic novels. Basically, the back wall has new issues. There's a little corner with adult stuff. Directly to your left, there's also a little place where the person who runs the store, whoever the shopkeeper is that day, sits in this little thing. And behind them, up on the wall, are a bunch of the wall books. But it's not just individual books. There's actually stacks of books. And to get to some of them, I had to actually have the guy had to pull out a ladder and climb up and get some of them. And that's where there was some really good stuff. Now, there's good stuff in the back issue bins. It's a little thin. I've gotten some really great romance books there before. This time, as we'll see, I did get one, but it was very small romance section. It's definitely dwindled a lot. But up on the wall, um, they had a couple stacks of like the golden age stuff, the offbeat stuff, the cool stuff, and there was some cool stuff. There was one in particular really caught my eye, and I don't remember what the title was, but it was one of those ACG True Vision books. But it wasn't from one of the romance titles. It wasn't Adventures into the Unknown. It was one of their very short-lived books. It's something about a submarine. But I always, whenever I see those, I make a note of it. And they had like just a bunch of cool, really cool books, pre-code stuff, like so a lot of neat stuff. And I only bought a couple things, so this is going to be a short video. I've been talking a lot because I really don't have that much to show, but I did get a couple of really cool books. So first of all, they had a section with some Savage Sword of Conan's. They had a big they have a big magazine section. I'm getting pretty close. I'm not quite to quest time here. Again, as those who've watched the channel for a while know, when I get to under 10 issues for a complete run of one of these longer runs, then I go in my quest mode where I try and get them. I'm not there yet, but I think I'm down to about 15 issues of Savage Sword of Conan. I got 2 more today. First of all, we got issue 5. And these are, mid-grade, 5s, 6s, 4.5, 5, 6, in that range. That's most of my Savage Sword collections like that. I don't really care about the condition. I just want the stories. But this does have this classic cover from Boris, the Tree of Death. You may note immediately a strong similarity to Marc Silvestri's famous X-Men cover with Wolverine on the X-Cross from X-Men 251. I don't know for sure that he was using this as an influence, but it certainly seems like it. So this is one of the best known, really, Savage Sword Conan covers as well. So I'm really happy to get this. I'm always happy to get these early issues. Strangely enough, like the prices of these, they're actually cheaper now than they were when I first started collecting this back in the 80s. So, I mean, this was $8. And then I also got issue 50, which has a great cover from Nestor Redondo. It's just really great painted cover. These, the bad guys are carrying off this woman, but of course Conan's stepping in. It's a classic Conan scene, just excellently done by Nestor Redondo. So there's 2 more Savage Sword of Conan's off the list. I'm still missing the last issue, I think. I have to double check my checklist, but I think I'm still missing the last issue. That's pricey. I did see that at a store recently, but it was $130, and I really don't want to pay that. So that's probably going to be the last issue that I get for my run. But I got a couple other things. I mentioned small romance section. In the past, I've gotten some great books there. And I got a great book this time. They just had a much smaller selection. Now, again, this is low grade. It's got Rusty Staples, which I don't like, obviously. But it's probably, 3.5 maybe. But it's a great painted cover from Ace. Now, these Ace sort of painted portrait covers, there's a whole series of these from Ace. They basically all look like this. The background cover might be a little bit different. They're mostly a lighter color, and they're mostly a portrait of a beautiful woman. Now, these paintings were originally on the cover of Ace's romance magazines, and then they reused them for the romance comics. And over the last few years, there's really been a big pickup in interest in people collecting like sets of these. They're not that easy to find. They're not that easy to find in nice shape, but they all look really nice. This is, not one of the top ones. There's a few specific ones with specific images that are the ones that are in the highest demand. But this is a really nice one. I've had one of these before. And the one I had before was in even worse condition than this. It also had Rusty Staples, but it was much worse than this. And I don't think the image on that one was as good either. But this was $20. So for, you know, a Golden Age book with one of these classic painted portrait covers, I thought that was a good price for that. So I was happy to pick that up. And then when I had the guy go up on the wall, I got the last book. I only picked up 4 books, but cool books. When I was going through the stack of the Golden Age stuff, I came across this. Listed as being in fair condition. Looks a little better than that to me, but I haven't really inspected it, so maybe it is. It looks, honestly, it looks more like a 2.5 or a 3 to me, but so maybe there's something going on that I haven't discovered yet. Again, I haven't looked at it that closely, but here it is. It's Black Cat number 21. Now, as you know, Black Cat went through a lot of genre changes over the period that it was coming out. It sort of briefly flirted with some Western stuff, but didn't go fully Western. Then it flirted for a little bit with horror, and it went fully horror, and then it went Western and turned into a Western. There was it turned from Black Cat into Black Cat Mystery, and then it became Black Cat Mystery Western. And then, they actually put out issues for quite a long time. They kept reviving the series, and some of them actually came out as late as the early 1960s. But the era that I'm interested in is not the pre-code horror era, which really starts around issue 31 or so. And it's definitely not the Western stuff or the later reprint books that came out in the early 60s. It's the original superhero era. And that includes this here. So this is issue 21 of Black Cat. Now, the deal with the original Black Cat here is that she's a Hollywood starlet by day and a superhero also sometimes by day, but sometimes by night. And so there's this Hollywood thing. That's why we have the strip of film over here. And it says, the new Black Cat Comics, glamorous Linda Turner, that's the character. The secret adventures of a motion picture star. Serial queen, invisible Scarlett O'Neal. What would you do if you could become invisible? And then there's Hollywood, the laugh-a-minute mishaps of a dizzy blonde starlet. So there's basically 3 features in here, all featuring female lead characters. And we get this thing here where it says, is Richard Wildmark really a villain? Christmas Party with the Stars on set with Linda Turner. And basically this, Hollywood director producer type is showing the film of Black Cat fighting a bad guy to Linda Turner, and she's like, well, golly gosh, playing it coy. There's this cool thing up at the top here that says illustrated interview, exclusive illustrated interview with Montgomery Clift. So I don't know exactly. I haven't really looked to see what year this is, but I'm guessing it's like 51. It's sometime early 50s. It's just before it went and turned into horror. Now, I've had one issue of Black Cat before. I used to have issue 29. That was still in the superhero era, but it's when it was turning into the horror stuff. So that has a cover where Black Cat's been captured by this witch, and the witch is about to, put her in the cauldron, and the Black Cat's sidekick is coming to rescue her. I eventually sold that, which I kind of regret, but I was trying to raise money to make my own comics. But for $20, a chance to get a pre-code Golden Age female lead superhero book is a no-brainer for me. I really dig the Black Cat, the original Black Cat's costume. Just the whole look of it. It's just really cool. So, this was a no-brainer for me. I saw the price, $20. Actually, there's a note on the back that says it's 1950, so I was very close. I just saw this and saw the price, and it was instant purchase. So I'm really excited to get that one. At some point, I'm hoping to use Black Cat in my comics, since I mentioned making my own comics, and the original Black Cat is in the public domain. So we may be seeing Black Cat show up at some point in a Cthulhu versus Uncle Sam issue or something. I haven't quite figured it out, but at some point I would like to use her because she's just a really cool character. One of the only female superheroes to have her own have her own title. It's basically Wonder Woman, Black Cat, and crickets. So I'm always excited to when I see an affordable copy of Black Cat, which is very rarely. So anyway, that's all I got. Those 4 issues. I talked quite a long time considering I only got 4 issues, so there wasn't that much to show. But again, Million Year Picnic, they've got the goods, and a lot of tourists end up going to Harvard Square just because they want to see Harvard. It's a really cool place to go. So if you're one of those people, if you're going to Harvard Square, it's down in a little basement, but ask around or look on your phone, and you'll be able to find it and support Million Year Picnic, the oldest comic book store in New England. So I was really excited to be able to support them by buying these comics. So that's it for this time. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next time.